Official language is a control tool. It does three key things. It removes emotional involvement. Official language sounds dry, detached, and impersonal. When a person hears something official, they think less about how it feels and more about how to correctly interpret it. This reduces criticism and resistance. In execution of the decree on preventing unauthorized gatherings, additional measures will be implemented to ensure full compliance with public order. Means we'll forbid you from going outside because we're afraid you'll overthrow us. The second version evokes emotions, the first just sounds like inevitability. It complicates meaning and makes it murky. Official language is cryptography for the poor. It creates an illusion of complexity where there's none, confuses simple things, and complicates simple truths. The process of optimizing personnel resources within restructuring is being carried out to enhance efficiency and align with long-term strategic objectives. Means we're firing people because we decided to save money. Official language helps hide the essence under a heap of bureaucratic terms. It forms false authority. The more complex a text sounds, the more people tend to trust it. If a phrase sounds exceptionally simple, people instinctively think anyone could have said it. If it sounds complicated and confusing, it creates the impression that behind it stands some important structure that knows what it's doing. Financial decentralization ensures diversification of income streams. Means we just found a new way to avoid taxes. The first version sounds solid, although essentially it's the same thing. The emotional deadening of official language is the opposite of propaganda. Propaganda weaponizes emotions. Save the children, defend the homeland. Official language kills emotions. Fiscal adjustment, strategic realignment, different tools, same masters. They scream propaganda when they need your support. They whisper official language when they're fucking you over. Here's what happens in your brain when you encounter official language. Your mind gets stuck processing syntax instead of analyzing content. It's like a DDoS attack on critical thinking. While you're trying to decode implementation of innovative approaches to modernization within the framework of strategic initiatives, your brain exhausts its resources on parsing this garbage. By the time you figure out what they're saying, you're too tired to question whether it's bullshit. Make the language complex enough and people's brains switch from "is this true" mode to "what does this mean" mode. And once you're in decoding mode, you've already lost. This particular strain of nonsense evolved with modern bureaucracy in the 20th century. But official language exploits our evolutionary programming. For thousands of years, humans survived by following those who spoke in ways we didn't understand. Shamans, priests, scholars, etc. Incomprehensible speech meant sacred knowledge, which meant obey or die. The bureaucrat in his suit, speaking about fiscal consolidation measures, triggers the same neural pathways that once fired when the village elder spoke about the will of the gods. Your brain goes, complex language equals higher authority equals better shut up and comply. This isn't conscious, it's deeper than thought. The system hacked your ancestral survival instincts. Official language creates phantom entities that supposedly drive events. Public interest, strategic priorities, stakeholder value, social dynamics. None of these things exist. They're verbal holograms projected to hide simple truth. Some bastard wants more money or power. When they say stakeholder value demanded workforce adjustments, they mean rich fucks wanted bigger profits, so we fired your colleagues. But you can't rage against stakeholder value. It's like fighting a ghost. These fake concepts become real in people's minds. Soon everyone's talking about what the economy wants, what society demands, what progress requires. Nobody asks who exactly is the economy, which specific humans constitute society. Progress toward fucking what? Official language performs emotional castration on reality. Collateral damage instead of we killed civilians. Negative growth instead of recession. Mortality event instead of mass death. Revenue enhancement instead of tax increase. This isn't just euphemism. It's programming you to feel nothing. When horrible things get described in neutral terms, your emotional response flatlines. You can't get angry about structural adjustments the way you'd rage about they're stealing your pension. The system needs you emotionally neutered. Angry people fight back. Confused people trying to decode bureaucratic gibberish don't. Here's some examples. Within the framework of ensuring sustainable economic development, an updated scale of tax burden is introduced oriented toward long-term fiscal stability. Translation: we are raising your taxes again. As a result of analyzing intermediate results of strategic initiative implementation, factors were identified requiring revision of the conceptual approach. Translation: we fucked up and wasted the budget. Growth in dynamics of indicators of natural population decline is recorded, requiring additional analysis. Translation: people are dying faster and we're pretending to care why. To ensure law enforcement practice efficiency, new regulatory mechanisms are being introduced. Translation: this law is complete bullshit, but we'll pass it anyway. Tariff policy adjustment towards enhanced sustainability. Translation: prices go up. Official language creates the false belief that complex problems need complex solutions. Bullshit. Most problems are simple. Someone's lying, someone's stealing, someone just doesn't give a damn and does nothing. But try saying that in official language. You can't. The language itself prevents clear thinking about simple solutions. If the problem is described as multifaceted challenges requiring holistic stakeholder engagement, then the solution must be equally convoluted. But if the problem is the mayor's brother owns the construction company that keeps getting contracts, the solution becomes obvious. Stop giving contracts to the mayor's brother. Official language is a protective cocoon. It masks violence, normalizes lies, turns obvious things into fog. Most importantly, it reduces the probability of revolt because nobody wants to decode these clerical formulations. By the time you've figured out what they're actually saying, your anger has dissipated into exhaustion. The system doesn't need to convince you. It just needs to exhaust you. Official language is psychological warfare through boredom and confusion. It's not designed to communicate. It's designed to pacify. Every official statement, every bureaucratic form, every government announcement, they are not talking to you. They're casting a spell. A spell that says, this is too complex for you to understand, too important for you to question, and too inevitable for you to resist. The antidote is simple. Call bullshit. Translate their garbage back into human language. Make them say what they mean. Because when you strip away the official language, What's left is usually simple, ugly, and actionable. And that's exactly what they don't want you to see. Exploits our official language performs emotional Да, блядь! Growth and dynamic indicators of natural population is required
multifaceted,
faceted. Holistic stakeholder engagement.